over the New York Giants. So the Giants have had multiple coaches, GMs, quarterbacks, O-linemen, and they all lose to Dak. That's the way it works. And I don't know who Dak Prescott's surgeon was. The guy rejuvenated Dak Prescott. He has looked unbelievable. His movement, his energy, he was great yesterday. This is his third straight head coach. Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, and Brian Schottenheimer. All offensive coaches, I'll give you that. Third straight offensive coach he's produced with. And I've never thought he's the prettiest runner or the greatest thrower, but he's a real smart adult. And there's a lot of noise in Dallas. You got a noisy owner, and Des Bryant was noisy, and Zeke was noisy, and Micah was noisy, and got his own podcast, and Dak just shows up and works. But I really thought coming into the season, after his second surgery, my take was, well, when they traded Micah, I thought, I get it. Next year's a great quarterback draft class. They have 2 first-rounders. Through 2 weeks, whoever the surgeon was, Dak looks rejuvenated. His movement, his energy, planting his foot. It's like he's got better velocity on the ball. Dak's been unbelievable. And, I mean, the game went to overtime, and Russell Wilson had one of his best days since Seattle, but Russell Wilson in overtime made the big mistake with that really awful deep ball interception. Yep, this was, and again, you can only go to the same play how many straight times, and Russell had a great game. But Dak, in overtime, not only made the big throws, but he scrambled in overtime, used his legs, and that sealed the opportunity to win it with a field goal, and here it is.
I thought we were going to get the audio broadcast, but we didn't. He makes the field goal, and they win the game. This game was wild, obviously, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. Listening to the broadcast was pretty funny because Olsen was just like, this is one of the greatest games I've ever seen. And he called the game that was one of the ugliest games with Dallas Cowboys versus the Packers. It's funny to hear Colin keep talking about the surgeon when it's like, if anything, it's physical therapy. When you get injured, you get reacquainted with your body, especially through physical therapy in a way that you just don't typically have when you're not injured. So, if anything, Dak has been working on his body in such a zoomed in, integrated way for the first time in a bit, and so it's not just that the surgeon just did the surgery and he's like, and I made you even better from before. It's like, you're putting in the work, especially in the weight room. And so it's great to see. It's always great to see someone be able to bounce back from an injury, because injuries are an absolute roll of the dice. This offense was always destined to be really, really great and to be really high-hourred. Always, 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 always. Dak Prescott's a great quarterback. You got 2 awesome wide receivers. You have a good enough O-line and a good enough run game. You're going to get production offensively unless your coaching staff is an absolute disaster. And they're not. The question is the defense, because you did allow Russell Wilson, maybe it was a one-off game, but like you did allow Russell Wilson to just, make him look like he was Brett Favre. I mean, like he was just balling and dealing. And so you did give up 37 points to the New York Giants, and it took a deep 60. You know what? I forget what it officially was, 63 or 64, whatever it was, a crazy, field goal just to tie the game, and then an awful interception by Russell Wilson. So again, this is a great win, an awesome win, an exciting win, just an exciting game. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you're looking at offense, you're excited. But again, if you're holding this team to higher expectations, you're like, man, this game shouldn't have been this way. Look at how the Commanders beat the New York Giants. That offense looked like, oh my God, they're just going to have to, Brian Dable is going to get fired. Russell Wilson's going to get cut. I mean, it just looked awful. This time around, this team's rocking and rolling, and you're just like, okay, what does that mean? Now, the good news is your offense certainly looked a lot better. And now, especially when we saw the Chiefs struggle against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys offense now looks even better. And that's the thing. This offense is clearly incredibly potent, and I believe in Eberflus as a defensive coordinator. I do. But even that, the Eagles offense now, to go back to that game, looked better against the Dallas Cowboys than the Kansas City Chiefs. DJ and Hurds was able to really do whatever he wanted with ease. And there's a lot of questions offensively for the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's the concern. That's the concern about this defense. And then the question is kind of like, right, what would this defense look like if they had Micah still here? So the offense to me is not the problem and was never the problem. It's the wrong question. Clear Dak has to carry this team. Or I thought originally it said, can Dak carry this team? But does he have to carry this team? If he does, it's not going to be enough. It'll be enough against the Giants. That's fine. But I always expect the Dallas Cowboys, because Dak and that offense should always be good enough to be able to consistently and reliably beat the bad teams, who I got news for you. The New York Giants are a bad team. It's what about when you're playing the better teams and the great teams and the top teams? The Commanders, the Eagles, the Rams, the Packers. It's like I'm just using the NFC teams now. What are you going to do? How are you going to do? If you can't stop Russell Wilson, how are you stopping Matthew Stafford with Pukanua and Devontae Adams? How are you stopping the Green Bay Packers? How are you stopping trying to think of other teams right now that are, they just played the Eagles. So I'm not using the Eagles right now. But now I'll go to the AFC. How are you stopping Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry? How are you stopping Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions? How are you stopping Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? Like that's more of the problem to me than anything else. So how do you slow that down? And can Dak keep up with a Josh Allen? Not so sure about that. You're asking your quarterback to do a heck of a lot. Lamar Jackson struggles to keep up. You think Dak Prescott can, so that's the problem. How can they get this defense to play significantly better? It was an impressive win. It was an exciting win. It was an awesome win. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. But when you're trying to evaluate a team like Dallas Cowboys, you would hope that you wouldn't need a near record-setting field goal to tie the game and an overtime win of 40-37 against the New York Giants. I think that's, to me, is what my take can really be summed up more than anything. And yeah, that's just you just want to see a win like this be a lot easier, and we can say, well, it's a divisional game, but it's like for the Cowboys against the worst teams, especially Prej and Daniels, against the Giants, against the Commanders. There was never any sense of like, it's a divisional game. This can get a little weird. It was always just the Cowboys dominating them and taking care of business. The Cowboys have always been the best team at taking care of the worst teams. They've been better than the Chiefs, the Eagles, the 49ers, the Rams, like any other top team for the last 5 years. The Cowboys have been the best in the NFL at absolutely just taking care of the bad teams. And so that's why a big win like this, an exciting win like this, it still signals to me like, why was it so hard? This shouldn't have been so hard. The game was in the balance. How do you get back to that not being the case? And so that's why it's going to be interesting to see what they look like when they play better teams, better defenses. That's what we still need to see, because you did play the Eagles, which I think was a tough game, but that's week 1 on the road. It's just at this point, trying to learn too much from a week 1 game is really, really tough. This was week 2 at home. It's just, I don't know, this is definitely more of a wait and see. An exciting win, an impressive win, and an important win, obviously. And I think just from an even chemistry and team building standpoint, with a new coaching staff and some new pieces on there and losing Micah and all that, a really important even style of win, even if it is against the New York Giants, because now everybody knows what's possible and what they can do offensively and what's all on the table. But yeah, it's got a handful of tough games coming up, and so to me that's going to be more of the indicator than anything else, than than beating a New York Giants team in overtime. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Sea Cowboys win over the New York Giants? Definitely just an absolutely wild game. And it's a shame a lot of people on the East Coast, I feel like, missed it, because then it got brought over to the Eagles and the Chiefs. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.